let's get right to what we know about this attack. SFPD says someone broke into Speaker Nancy Pelosi's home in San Francisco's Pacific Heights neighborhood. You can see the broken glass there in that shot from Chopper 5. The suspect is identified as 42-year-old David DePappy of Berkeley. A source confirms to CBS News that DePappy was looking for the House Speaker, who was in Washington, D.C. at the time. We're told he was saying, "Where's Nancy?" and planned to tie up Paul Pelosi until the Speaker returned home. Now, Paul Pelosi was beaten with a hammer, rushed to SF General, and is expected to make a full recovery. Let's get right to Jocelyn Moran, who is live at the scene for us.
And Jocelyn, what can you tell us about the suspect and the investigation?
Yeah, Liz, Ryan, obviously this is a very scary situation. We've seen many people walking by here in this neighborhood asking questions, a lot of them wanting to know more. Now, this area continues to be blocked off. You're still seeing the San Francisco Police Department here. I do want to show you, though, up the hill here, you're seeing more police presence there as well. We did also see an SFPD bomb squad here. They left about 5 minutes ago. We're also seeing other agencies here in the area, including the FBI. But again, this area is blocked off. Now, you mentioned the suspect, 42-year-old David DePappy. SFPD says officers were dispatched around 2:30 this morning. When they got there, they saw the suspect and Paul Pelosi. Now, here's what SFPD said regarding a hammer.
Our officers observed Mr. Pelosi and the suspect both holding a hammer. The suspect pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it. Our officers immediately tackled the suspect, disarmed him.
There was one hammer involved, and both Mr. Pelosi and Mr. DePappy each had one hand on the hammer.
Do we know whose hammer it was?
I don't know.
All right, so you heard it right there. Still unclear whose hammer it was, but we know Paul Pelosi was hurt. He was rushed to SF General. In a statement, Speaker Pelosi's office says, quote, Mr. Pelosi was taken to the hospital where he is receiving excellent medical care and is expected to make a full recovery. SFPD says the suspect was also taken to a local hospital. The suspect is facing a number of charges, including attempted homicide. Now, still, a lot of questions remained. SFPD answered only a few after the press conference, but we will continue to stay updated on this one. Liz, Ryan.
And Jocelyn, we all know this is a very affluent neighborhood, so what kind of reaction are you hearing from people who live in that area?
Yeah, well, as people were starting to wake up this morning, they were driving by, walking by, taking their kids to school, and they wake up to see this. A lot of them asking a lot of questions when they started to find out more. A lot of them just talking about how scary of a situation this is. Obviously, the election is coming up, but they're also talking about how regardless of where you stand on the political spectrum, something like this is unacceptable.
All right, thank you very much, Jocelyn Moran, reporting live from the Pacific Heights neighborhood. So we know that Paul Pelosi is at San Francisco General right now.
Yeah, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is heading there now from Washington, D.C. Our Lauren Toms is there at SF General. Lauren, can you sort of describe the scene for us there?
Yeah, hey guys. Well, just a couple moments ago, we did see a 3-car motorcade pull in to this ambulance bay behind me here at SF Gen. But now we are getting some information that the House Speaker might be arriving a little bit later today. So this was really an indication that security is starting to ramp up here at SF Gen. Of course, providing protection for some of the more higher ranking political officials of our country. Of course, we right now don't know the full extent of Paul Pelosi's injuries, but again, we do know that 82-year-old Paul was attacked early this morning with a hammer. We are told that he underwent surgery after this early morning assault, but again, don't know the full extent of his injuries. Hospital officials have told us that the injuries did require him to undergo surgery, and he is expected to make a full recovery. Now, their Pacific Heights home, this is where he was transferred from early this morning. It's about 4 miles away from SF General, where we are now. But that's significant because this is a level 1 trauma center. So here at SF Gen, they're uniquely equipped to handle these more traumatic injuries like Paul Pelosi may have sustained early this morning. So right now it is pretty quiet at the hospital, pretty much business as usual. But as I mentioned, that 3-car quiet motorcade just rolled up a few moments ago. We can expect Speaker Pelosi a little bit later today, but we are seeing police presence from several jurisdictions. We are seeing squad cars from the San Francisco police. And as Jocelyn mentioned, this is an ongoing investigation. We have the FBI, federal officials, federal law enforcement on this, the Secret Service, the U.S. Capitol Police. And of course, we're also supposed to hear from some local officials as well. We can expect to hear from the San Francisco Attorney General, District Attorney Brooke Jenkins, a little bit later today. So police presence ramping up here at SF General, and we will bring you all the latest as we get them.
All right, thank you very much. Lauren Toms reporting live from San Francisco General. The White House released a statement on the attack. It says, in part, the president is praying for Paul Pelosi and Speaker Pelosi's whole family this morning. He called Speaker Pelosi to express his support after this horrible attack. He is also very glad that a full recovery is expected. Vice President Kamala Harris tweeted that she and her husband, Doug, quote, are appalled by the attack on Paul Pelosi. Speaker Pelosi's husband, the entire Pelosi family's in our hearts, and we wish him a speedy recovery. And Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell tweeted, horrified and disgusted by the reports that Paul Pelosi was assaulted in his and Speaker Pelosi's home last night. Grateful to hear that Paul is on track to make a full recovery and that law enforcement, including our stellar Capitol Police, are on the case.
And today we spoke with Pelosi biographer Mark Sandalow about the broader implications of all this if the attack was indeed politically motivated.
The talk, ever since, the talk has been much more tough. And what happened on January 6th in Congress suggests that this is more normalized. We are not Iran or Afghanistan or countries where political violence is the norm, but clearly it is on the rise over the last couple of years. It's a pretty troublesome trend.
Now, Sandalow noted that threats have been on the rise against other members of Congress in the past couple of years. We will continue to follow this story on KPIX and streaming on CBS News Bay Area throughout the day.